It's called Project Roomkey, and the goal is to provide secure hotel rooms for at-risk people who are also experiencing homelessness during the coronavirus pandemic. Heidi Marston is the Interim Executive Director of the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority, and she joins us now to shed some light on how it's working. Welcome to our program.
Thank you.
Your agency, which is also known as LAHSA, is running the program here in the Los Angeles area. Tell us a little bit about your agency.
LAHSA is a joint powers authority between the city and the county, and we are the entity that is charged with our county's response to homelessness. So prior to COVID and even post-COVID, looking at what does our long-term recovery need to look like.
What's the idea behind Project Roomkey?
Project Roomkey is an initiative that was started by Governor Newsom, and the idea is to partner with hotels and motels across the state who might have vacancies in a time like this where there's many safe-at-home orders and businesses are closing down, to use those hotels as shelter for our populations of folks who are experiencing homelessness and need a place to shelter so that they don't contract coronavirus.
Now, how exactly would this program help slow the spread of coronavirus?
We know that our individuals who experience homelessness are among the most vulnerable populations that we have, and the safest thing we can do to stop the spread of coronavirus is to be inside, self-isolate, and limit our exposure to others. If you're experiencing homelessness, you don't necessarily have the opportunity to do that. So providing this shelter that are individual rooms for folks makes sure that they're inside, that they're not coming into contact with other individuals. So part of what we do is deliver 3 meals a day to people's doors to make sure that they don't have any reason to come out and get food. And we do as much as we can in terms of interaction on site at the hotel.
Now, how did you get the word out to the hotel and motel owners?
LA County partnered with the state to engage one-on-one with these hotel and motel owners to encourage them to participate, explaining what the program is and why it's beneficial for everybody involved. Travel is down, tourism is down, and a lot of the hotels we've partnered with had actually closed their doors and said we can't stay functioning right now. So this has not only given them an opportunity to open their doors, but it's given the housekeeping staff opportunities, it's given their concierge staff opportunities to come back to work. In a couple cases even, we've partnered with their kitchens to get their chefs back to work, and the chefs are providing food to the people who are staying at the hotel. So it really is a win-win for them to have that continued revenue, and it's a guarantee on their hotel that their rooms are going to be filled. So in that sense, it makes good business sense.
Now let's talk about funding. So how is all of this funded?
It's a variety of funding. The biggest chunk of it, though, comes from FEMA, who's going to reimburse up to 75% of the costs of the hotels, the leases, and the operations. The state has also provided emergency funding to the city, to the county, and to LAHSA for COVID-19. So all of the funding that we've received from the state for that purpose is also being dedicated to Project Roomkey, and we're funding the services up front.
And who is eligible?
So we are targeting folks based on the CDC guidance of what is vulnerable, meaning you're either over the age of 65 or you have a chronic underlying medical condition where if you were to contract COVID-19, you would likely become hospitalized and potentially pass away. So it's not only an effort to keep folks safe from contracting it, but also a method to prevent inflow to our hospitals so that we can maintain capacity in our hospital system by protecting this population and keeping them isolated.
And how are people referred to Project Roomkey?
One way is through our outreach teams who are out doing work with these folks every day. So we're identifying people who not only are eligible, but who want to go inside. So there's a mechanism for our outreach workers to refer. We also have a very large network of nonprofit service providers who have the capability to refer through our system as well, who are working with folks coming into their shelters or their access centers across the county.
Once they have been approved to go into one of these hotels, walk us through step by step what happens to that individual.
They are transported there through our outreach teams, maybe through a Lyft or an Uber, and they arrive on site, and the first thing we do is help them get all of their things together. We do a medical screening, so we take their temperature. We have nursing staff that's checking for symptoms. We want to make sure everybody coming in is healthy as they're coming in and not exhibiting symptoms. And then they start working with our case management teams and our providers providers. So we help them get situated in their room. We give them the mask and the appropriate personal protective equipment to make sure they can stay safe, go through the rules, and really enroll them in the hotel like you would check in at any hotel. It's the same process with the exception of having that added medical component for everyone's safety.
Now, what about people who are part of a family that is homeless?
So we actually have a lot of folks who were staying together outside in a tent, or who are a couple or a family, and we can move them in as a unit. As long as one of the two are eligible or one member of the family is eligible, we put them all in. We can treat these folks with the respect and the dignity that they deserve, and make a dent in homelessness in Los Angeles County. Project Roomkey has a wealth of services. The first thing is the support staff on site that are nonprofit homeless service providers who really have experience working with this population, and they know what needs to be done to make sure that people are getting what they need. We do tell our guests that they are not allowed to have visitors because, again, this is only for people who need to shelter. So security helps us to monitor that. In addition to this, though, we've really thought creatively about how can we partner with some of our county agencies, our legal service partners, to use this moment where everybody's inside to talk with them to see what is it going to take to get you indoors, what do you need, and how can we help. So we're working on a partnership with DMV to get IDs issued to folks in Project Roomkey. Our legal service partners are helping with record clearing and tickets that have piled up and oftentimes become a barrier for people to get indoors. And we also have our Department of Public and Social Services, making sure people are getting SSI benefits or their CalFresh benefits if they're eligible. So we want this moment for them to walk away with everything that they're eligible for to set them up for success moving forward.
Tell us some stories about people that you've met who I'm assuming are very grateful.
This is more than just a shelter. You know, we have shelter already built up across Los Angeles County, but it's in a congregate setting. So this is really the first time that we have shelter where we're not only bringing you indoors, but you have your own bathroom, you have your own TV, you have your own bed, and you don't have to worry about neighbors. And some folks are thrilled. I remember one gentleman in particular, he just couldn't believe it when he walked into his room and he found a robe hanging in the closet, and he said, I get a robe? And helping these folks see, you deserve this, and you deserve a dignified space to be. It's really, really just rewarding to see their reactions. And even if you look at these folks over time, getting a good night's sleep can't be understated, and seeing their ability and their desire to come out and engage and talk to our case managers and think about what their long-term plans are, this is helping to facilitate that because it's taking the stress of the streets off of them and providing them with that safe space.
Well, tell us your personal opinion about how it's been 3 months now? 2 months?
2 months, yeah.
What do you think of it?
First of all, I'm so proud of our system. I think we've treated homelessness as a crisis for a long time, but it's been hard to always maintain the momentum, the funding streams, the public will, the political will to keep that going. This has brought a new surge of energy to our work and really helped us to double down. And what it showed us is that we can move much faster than we ever realized that we could. To say that in 6 weeks or 7 weeks that this has been open, we have now sheltered 3,000 people. That's half of all of our interim housing inventory almost. And so we know how to do this. And what I want to see is that it demonstrates to the entities that fund us, to the policymakers that work with us, that if you resource this in the right way and you let us move forward with interventions that we know work like this, we can make a marked difference in homelessness in Los Angeles County. We just have to think really big and really bold, but it's possible.
Now, if people want to find out more information, where do they go?
They can go to LAHSA.org to see more. We have all of our resources on our website. We have videos and testimonials if you want to learn more just about the program itself, LAHSA.org.
Well, thank you so much. Heidi Marston, Interim Executive Director for LAHSA. Thank you for everything that you do. And I know your people work really hard out there.
They do. They're amazing.
Amazing
Yes.
people.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining us for this edition of LA Currents. I'm Saida Pagan.